What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. So I want to make a quick update just to talk about what we are seeing in the charts. We are getting to a point now where the price has been consolidating sideways for quite some time, and we actually are expecting some volatility very imminent. However, there is something traditionally in the stocks that we need to pay attention to because it is getting to crunch time, and potentially by the end of this week, we could have that confirmation on the big move. So I want to dive in super quick and let you guys know exactly what I'm looking at. So we had this major move right here, and Bitcoin did in fact consolidate sideways for quite some time. We had a slightly smaller move to the upside, and Bitcoin is also consolidating. So this could suggest that potentially this move right here does not have to consolidate as long as this move, since it was a smaller uptick, right, compared to this big run right here. But the thing we can officially see is that Bitcoin has in fact broken this major downtrend, right? Now this is something that we actually have not yet seen on the S&P. The S&P has not broken its downtrend yet. Bitcoin has broken its downtrend. You can see right here. And what's even cool, I just want to show you guys like how awesome this is that it lines up, is if we look at the major downtrend on the S&P futures, not only did Bitcoin break it, but you can even argue that although we didn't exactly touch it, we did attempt to have that retest, right? So does that mean that now Bitcoin is going to go to our higher target at around 25,000? Don't forget that we do in fact have this CME futures gap right here, and we've been talking about that. It would not be impossible to see Bitcoin fill this gap first before heading to the upside. It's kind of a guessing game right now. Do we come up here and hit this $25,300 level first? Do we try to close this CME futures gap all the way up at $28,000 first and then have the drop? Personally, for me, I would rather come down here, close this gap first, retest this, and then continue to the upside. But of course, what I want versus what the charts are actually going to end up doing are two totally different stories, right? And what we can see right here, though, is that we have fallen back into this parallel channel, right? So it's really interesting. If you kind of just, scribble this out right here, and you scribble this out right here, basically Bitcoin is just in this very nice upward channel, right? Now, the thing to point out is if you have a look right here, we are coming to a bit of an area where we are gonna have this resistance slash support lining up with the bottom of this parallel channel right here. And you can see that that happens right here, which is really roughly about Friday, which is telling me that either, today, tomorrow, definitely by Friday, if not, by the end of Friday, we're going to have some kind of major move. We're either going to break out somewhere again and just continue upwards in this channel, or, to the flip side, if we do go down to fill that CME futures gap, we're going to fall out of this channel, and potentially retest some of this support. So obviously those targets, if you guys are interested, obviously not telling you to short or long really at this level until we have confirmation. But if we do break out of this level, then yes, I do believe the downside target for a short would be about 21,488. And, if we have a look to the upside would bring us up to our target right here, again, at around $25,300. And again, how did we get that? Well, if we come all the way back here and we have a look, you could see that that in fact was the next pivot high, right? And you could see we've been taking these out systematically, right? Every time, first was this level, then right here, what did we do, right? We consolidated in the middle, boom, came up to the next level. That was this pivot high right here. Again, what did we do? Well, we're consolidating. We don't really have confirmation on that move just yet. Of course, if you guys do want to learn how to trade, make sure you guys check out the tutorial popping up above and, get subscribed. We do go over this. Even while I am away right now from the studio, we are still making these quick updates. Now, another thing too, just to point out, I'm not trying to, be a bearer of bad news, or a bear for that matter, but I do want to point out that this RSI down here is incredibly oversold, and you could see that we are crossing below the moving average. So we have this purple line moving below this yellow line. Now you could see right here, oftentimes when we do have that move, for example, right here, we had that cross to the down. That was a big move to the downside. We had this cross again right here, big move to the downside. Now, it's not impossible. You could see some fake outs. Just keep your eyes on that. I'm not really a big RSI guy. Some people, they live and they die by it. For me personally, you could have an RSI oversold or overbought for a very long time without having a move. So that's just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But this is the big issue. This is what I'm most concerned with. So while Bitcoin has actually broken its downwards trend, the S&P 500, which Bitcoin is very closely associated with, has not. In fact, every time that it ever attempts to have a breakout, for example, right here, you could see it gets rejected, right? Wick above, and then we fall to the downside. Same thing right here. What did we do? Wick above, and then we closed below it. Yesterday, wick above, and we closed below it. And you can see right here, the S&P is trying so hard, the bulls are trying so hard to break out of this channel, but it absolutely cannot do it. So that's why I'm saying pay attention today, tomorrow, and Friday. We could have a fake out, we could come to the upside, or we could just consolidate right here between these two channels, and that could push us out potentially. Still, as I'm looking right here, this could still just kind of bring us out. Well, this would actually bring us to next week. I mean, I guess you could technically just bore the heck out of the markets, something like this where we just have this type of consolidation. But the big concern that I have here is, well, there's two things. Number one is that we are in this descending broadening wedge, right? And you can see right here, we have started to bottom out. We never came down to the bottom of this wedge. So you could say that this does appear to potentially be a reversal, but I just want to play devil's advocate right here. Hypothetically speaking, you can see right here, if we were to just fall straight down, which we would not do that, just by the way, but this is just to show you the numbers. If we were to fall straight down, that would drop the S&P 27.8%. And if we just go from top to bottom here, again, just playing devil's advocate, just trying to show you if we do get rejected at these levels, you could see that would drop stocks about 40%. If stocks fell 40%, then you would definitely see Bitcoin fall as well. And as I've said multiple times on this channel, I do believe that ultimately Bitcoin is going to decouple from stocks. I do believe that, in maybe 5 to 10 years, we will see Bitcoin doing its own thing. But right now, unfortunately, it remains tied in, right? So that is something to be concerned about. But that is obviously a super extreme case. Something else that could happen, and this could obviously end up two ways, is what we could see is we could actually just see stocks sort of start to consolidate maybe at these levels right here, right? So what it could start doing is putting in something like this, something like a descending triangle, right? Where we basically just have stocks, where we do fall, down to here, but then we just continue to consolidate, and, the markets get more boring and more boring and more boring and more boring, boring everyone out of the markets essentially, before having the big move. Now, the thing that I would note is that this is what's known as a descending triangle pattern, if that is what plays out, For all I know, guys, today we could just have a breakout and everything's great, sunny skies, Bitcoin's going to 30K, right? But I just want us to be careful because where have we seen this before? Well, if you guys remember the Bitcoin chart from 2018 right here, what we did was we ended up putting in this giant descending triangle, right? Where you basically have the lows. Every time we come down here, we have a bounce, but every time we have that bounce, we put in a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And what ended up happening, Bitcoin had a 50% fall to the downside. So is that what's going to happen to stocks? Are we going to see stocks, basically move all the way out here, bore everyone out until the end of the year? This apex would basically be at around September of the end of the year, and then would stocks have that fall to the downside? Well, here's the bright side. It doesn't always have to play out that way, okay? This is just a probability, right? When we're looking at charts, we're just looking at probabilities. They're not certainties. And when you're trading, you have to just statistically look at stuff and say, hey, statistically speaking, these types of patterns have an 80% chance, right, of breaking to the downside. But there's always that 20% chance they don't. And check this out. If we actually come over here, we had something similar, right? So after we had this crazy peak back in April of 2021, Bitcoin fell down here and we started doing that consolidation, right? And, you could argue right here, maybe this was a little bit of a fake out, kind of scratch that out, scratch this out, right? Scratch these two fake outs. And what are we doing? We're putting in a descending triangle, right? Where we keep bouncing on the lows and we keep getting lower high, lower high, lower high. But everybody was shorting down here because they were saying, well, the same thing's going to happen. Look what happened here, right? We fell. Well, guess what, guys? It didn't happen. In fact, Bitcoin went for a second run to the double top, right? So these are just words of caution. I'm not saying that it's inevitable. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just something to pay attention to. And as we spoke about on the channel, again, I'm pretty sure we were one of the first people to cover this, is this potential death cross that Bitcoin has never had with this 50 moving below the 200. Now, it has not happened yet. But you could see that each one of these bars represents a week. So if we just kind of come out here, 1 week, 2 weeks, you're looking somewhere between 2 weeks to 3 weeks from now. maybe a month at most, we're going to know whether or not we're going to have this cross. And that would be, again, the first time that Bitcoin has ever had it. And, not to sound like a broken record here, but you could see back here, we were starting to have that cross, but the price continued to the upside and we never got it. These two lines never touched, and that was extremely bullish. So that's a possibility. That is a possibility. Like I said, guys, make sure you get subscribed, and we will go over this, turn on the bell notifications. I know these videos are coming out at slightly different times. And again, just remember, we do have this consolidation right here. So just to reiterate, come down here, confirmation maybe around the $21,400 level, and then we can continue to the upside, or there is the possibility that we have that breakout to the top, and then we're looking at that $25,000 to $200 to $300 level, right? So that's it for me today, guys. And, just be careful. Like I said, it could get a little crazy in stocks. And if we do have a fake out, okay, in the DXY, where is it? Cannot find my chart. Right here, right? If we do have that fake out, the DXY, just be careful, but we are looking for that confirmation, or there is the possibility that maybe we don't fall all the way down to the bottom, maybe we don't do that, but maybe what we do is start to consolidate and start to really bore out those market participants. That's what you want to do in these bear markets, right? You want people to forget about it. Right now, it's really exciting, right? Generally speaking, that's not usually how bear markets end, but anything can happen this time. So as I said, just be careful out there. There could be some fake outs. It doesn't mean we have to go to the downside. We could have that slow, boring consolidation period, right? But we are at that level where if we do get rejected, it would put it again back in the bear's court. So we want to have that breakout. We want to hold above it, and we definitely don't want to have that really boring consolidation. So definitely, guys, get subscribed. I'll keep you updated on everything that I'm looking at. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Love you. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.